Good morning. This is Jeff Williams from Veterans United Against Suicide, and this is a series of videos I've been doing about the Falklands, and this is number 7 if you're following them. Hopefully they're helping people. That's the feedback I'm getting back, and it's just no script. In fact, I was proved yesterday because I started off I was going to discuss a topic which I never even got round to, so I'm going to cover it today, and that's the emotional aspect of war, not only on the individual but also on the family. Now, I tried to get my mum to talk about it, but she can't do that. So I've had a good chat with her this morning, and you know, I'm going to speak for her if that's okay. So I think once we realised where we were going, travelled back from Coventry, I did, got into the camp, got a bollocking for being late, and then got this kit list thrust at you. Go away, pack all that, and we'll see you here first thing tomorrow morning. So I went home with my kit list, and I meticulously packed my Bergen and all my kit. I'd done it 100 times before, but this was slightly different. There was no luxuries. It was just the stuff that I would need to effectively carry out my duties as a Royal Marine on the ground. And I remember looking at the kit list. They were great, honest, to be fair. And I just went through one thing: socks, fort, bang, they go there. Underwear, whatever. Through the whole thing from top to bottom. Made sure I got absolutely everything. Because what they used to tend to do was, when you got back to camp, they used to check it anyway, have a massive kit muster. But the time was short this time, so literally packed everything. And I never took my family into consideration. My focus was just getting myself sorted out. And I literally regret that now when I think about it, because I never said goodbye to my mum or my dad, my brothers or my sisters. I was just gone. And I remember I had several SAS blokes who were friends of mine who had been in Commando Log with me, and then they'd gone SAS. And I remember them saying, you know, they used to turn to their missus and go, "Can't tell you where I'm going. Don't know how long I'm going to be away. I'll see you when I see you." And I used to think that was really special when I was a kid. I thought, wow, that's amazing. Because we always knew where we were going. But they didn't. But anyway, back to the family. I didn't say try to anybody. I didn't ask them how they were feeling. I just went. I remember putting my Bergen on. Land Rover pulled up outside. I don't even think I cuddled the missus or anything. I just looked over my shoulder with this sort of, I'm off. And I could see a tear in her eye. And the kids were sort of broken as well, because this was real. And they knew it was going to war this time. And a lot of you have been in that situation with conflict since the Falklands, and you'll know exactly how I feel. Emptiness, you know, sorrow, and you're gone. And, you know, we all got to the camp, all excited, or, you know, what's going to be like, well, I wonder what's going to happen, and all this type of stuff. And my mum's phone rang. I'm just going to move out the way. So, so we're all buzzing, like, we're going for it. And off we went. Now, during the conflict, I never once did I write a letter. The only letter I wrote was my last letter to be read if I died, and those were all kept with the Sergeant Major. And I remember writing that, and I'm sure Mum has probably had a little tear stain on it because I hadn't said it personally, and obviously in the field you can't do that. So it was emotional on everybody. But when I spoke to Mum today, I said, look Mum, would you speak? She said, no, I can't do it, Jeff. She said, this is how I felt, sense of loss straight away. She said, you know, every time the phone rang, I thought there was going to be a message. I tried to not watch the television. That's what she said. She said, because I didn't need to, because everybody kept talking about it. When she went to work, how's Jeff doing? Now, it was worse for my mum, because my other two brothers, Gary and Darren, were both serving, and they were both in Northern Ireland at the same time as I was in the Falklands. She said I was just petrified, and it's like every knock on the door was like, who is it, who is it? Used to go to bed and cry and stuff like that. And I feel really bad that I put her through that. But, you know, other people will say, well, that's all perks of being in the military. But I suffer badly with guilt, and I have got nothing to be guilty about, but it's things like this that trigger it. And I'm sure a lot of guys feel the same way. You know, when we got back, when we come out the field so on the way down, the majority of the fighting company were 18, 19, 20-year-old lads. Happy-go-lucky, up for a laugh, screaming and shouting all over the place, getting the bloody beers down the neck and all the rest of it. When we come out the field at the end of it, there was a marked difference in those people. I sensed stuff like that. I was a leader, so I had to make sure my men were, you know, I understood them. I could read them, I could help them, I could support them, and I could guide them in the right direction. But when they come out the field and they started to relax, it was amazing how different they were. There was a gaunt look about the face. There was, what can I say? A gaunt look. That, you know, that hot. Their eyes didn't seem to be as bright. They never smiled as much. Deep you know, thinking deeply about stuff, getting quite emotional, very angry, some of them, and especially when we got back, you know, there was a copious amount of alcohol drunk, and that didn't help. That didn't help people at all. You know, we thought it was helping us decompress, but in fact, what it was doing was just stoking up the anger inside, and quite a few people got a battering over it, which is awful, but that's how it was. People couldn't communicate it to their families, because I remember when I got back to Birmingham, I went to see my mum, and she'd set up a little dinner. There was no welcome home Jeff stuff. We weren't into that in our family, but we had a dinner, and we all sat around the table, and it was like speech, and I thought, God almighty, what am I going to say? And I remember standing up, and I often think about it, to be fair, and I stood up, and they all looked at me, you know, these sort of wide eyes. What's he going to say, you know? He's going to talk about the Falklands and that. And I went, I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. And they went, what? What do you mean, what are you sorry for? I said, I'm sorry because I hurt you. So sad. I said, you know, you're calling me a hero and all the rest of it. I said, I'm not a hero. I work with some heroes, but I'm not one. I said, just a guy. And you're the heroes. You're the people that sat listening to the news every day that wasn't true. You're the people that were petrified to open the door. You were the people that struggled in your daily life, trying to be brave for everybody. We had our own destiny in our own hands to a certain degree, and I knew what was going on. And I was quite confident that I was coming back. I try and look past the problem, I do, and look at the other end and think things like, you know, I'm going to see my grandchildren grow up. I'm going to see them get married or whatever the case may be. I thought that far forward. But I also spoke to people who were convinced they were going to die. Now, some of them, in fact, that's not true. None of them died. But something inside them died, for sure. The stress and the trauma of it all. Because we didn't understand stress. We didn't understand survivor guilt. We didn't understand half the things we do now. Things are improving, and they're improving on a daily basis. I think we look after our troops a lot better than we did. They won't agree with that, but I can tell you what the kit we had, and you know, we were just told to man up or forget about it. And I'll say something now. I've never said this before. I went on a WO1s board, and I was absolutely chuffed to bits about that at the end of my career. But prior to going on it, I'd had a rough time in my head, and I reached out and I spoke to the doctor, and I said, look, doc, I don't know what's going on here. I said, but I'm having really bad nightmares, and I just feel really quite beaten up inside. And a lot of you'll understand that as well. And it was before the word PTSD had even been invented, I think. And he looked at me and he said, I think you're struggling with the stress of it all. I said, it's not stressful, I love it. I absolutely love being in the Corps. He said, you're struggling, I'm telling you now. And that was entered on my documents. And I'm absolutely 100% convinced. There was 5 of us. Was there 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. There was 5 of us on this ones board. And again, you know, I had 4 medals. They spent most of their career in training, establishments and stuff like that. I just couldn't do that. I had to be out on the front. That's where I wanted to be. And I'm paying a penalty for that now, to be honest with you, but there we go. And I didn't get it. I didn't get the ones. It wasn't a fail or a pass. It was, you know, you get selected. And like I say, if you go, well, this is the problem when you listen to other people. People are telling me, oh, you walk it, Jeff. Well, I never walked it. And I had to come back to the unit as a failure in my mind. But the only thing I ever felt in my whole career, I didn't get selected for WO1. And that was in the plan. That was me. I wanted to be able to do that, and that would be the end. And I blame the fact that I reached out for that. I just felt they looked at me in a different way. But there we go. Yeah, my mum's calling me over for a cup of tea. Hang on. Thanks, Mum. Can I say hello quickly?
Hello.
That's Mum. So, you know, I didn't get me ones board. I'll blame that. I can't blame myself. I'm sure it was that. But there we go. You know, you need to remember what the families have been through to support you. Like my mum said, trying to be brave for you, trying to ignore the pain, the tears, holding the tears back, and then the release of the first hug when you get back. You know, if you could bottle that, you'd be a millionaire. That's it. You know, remember, it takes the toll on you. Look after yourself. If you see the signs, do something about it. Don't ignore it. Don't bottle it up like I did, like so many I speak to. Bottled it up for 20, 30 years. You know, just kept it to themselves. I remember speaking to a guy who'd been in the Second World War. We had some veterans come over to Bickley Barracks in 4-2. And these guys come over, and I was just amazed to listen to their stories of war. But every one of them said the same. They were never the same afterwards. Their family didn't understand them, and they didn't understand their family any longer. How could they? They hadn't seen, but they didn't know because they bottled it up. And so many people say, oh, my dad was never the same after that. Well, he ain't going to be the same. Because if it was you, you'd be in exactly the same situation. You have to care. You know, one thing that keeps the majority of the guys on this planet is that their family care and love them. A lot of people die because they believe that nobody cares. And that's so sad. They leave this planet thinking that no one actually cares enough to reach out And I spent a long time now, 6 years actually, trying to change that mindset, and I think we're getting there now. But anyway, that's another Falklands video. You know, not about the Falklands, about everything that's associated with being in the military and being away. You know, got tears in my eyes thinking about it. I hurt my family. It's just, it's sad, but there we are. So that's Chef Williams. Hope it's helped somebody out there. Hope it, reach out. The times have changed now. People will help you, and people ain't gonna box you up as a nutter or whatever. You know, I heard some guy the other day, it was a Royal Marine actually, he told another Royal Marine to man up. I ripped his head off. How dare you say that? It's one of your bloody brothers, for God's sake, and there's enough sisters out there struggling as well. But that's it anyway. Thank you for listening. Please share the video if you think it's going to help somebody out there that's struggling to understand. That's just my personal experience, but my family are very similar to a lot of families out there, especially the newer mothers who have only recently seen their son return from the likes of Afghanistan and Iraq and Bosnia and all the other crap we've had to deal with. All right, look after yourself. This is Jeff Williams, Royal Marines, brothers, all together, shoulder to shoulder. Only way to get through it. Lean on us if you need to. Bye bye.